You're now listening to the 11:30 podcast. Enjoy the show.
Nasty, hateful, insane nation that doesn't exist.
Yo, what it do, everybody? It's your man Dre, aka Dre on Wheels. Y'all already know what it is, man. Welcome back, everyone, to the 11:30 podcast. What's goody? We made it back here another week. It's Wednesday. You know what time it is. It's not 7:30. It's 11:30. It's time for the podcast. Good morning to everyone who's joining me here on Spotify and everyone who's watching back here on YouTube. Appreciate it so much, man. For real, new to the podcast, and if you haven't done so already, definitely hit that subscribe button down below, like it, leave a comment, and tell me what you like about the show, what you don't like. And also, don't forget to follow the 11:30 podcast on all social media platforms. But you guys, like I said, it's time for the podcast. Got a great guest, you guys, great entrepreneur guest that's going to be joining me here in just a bit. As you can see, Antoinette Logan, she's a multi-faced media professional and an international author, you guys, and a brand ambassador. We're going to be chopping it up with her and everything she got going on, her books, her music, and everything, man. It's going to be a great vibe, so sit tight. But we ain't gonna waste no more time. We're gonna get right into it. Antoinette, how's it going? The only reason why I'm laughing though, because I have a sister named Antoinette too, so it's kind of awesome. But yeah, Antoinette, look, how's it going?
Absolutely amazing. Thank you for having me. How you doing today?
Wonderful. I'm doing wonderful. Blessed to be back here on the podcast and also be joining with you here on the podcast. How life treating?
Hey, you know what? I can't complain.
Hey, that's what's up. Hey, look, you can't complain. There's so much going on in the world right now, and it's getting chilly outside. The holidays is rolling around, and not a good time for everybody. But hey, you got to be spending that money and stuff. But nonetheless, though, I appreciate you once again. Like I said before the show, taking the invite, coming through here on the 11:30 podcast. But before we dive into everything, since you're a new guest and it's the first time here on the podcast, tell everyone about yourself.
Well, I am the CEO and founder of the AIM Agency. We're a creative agency that focuses on brand development and lead generation strategies. We take our clients from idea to brand to business to elevation and profit, pretty much meeting you where you are to help you achieve your next level business goals.
Okay.
That's
cool.
Pretty much what I do for the most part with work.
All right. Okay. Okay. How did that all, come about for you? Being, in the brand ambassador, and, multi-faced, in this media business that you have.
Well, it all kind of just organically happened. Music brought about the media lane, the whole entertainment industry. Before I was really taking music serious, I was supporting my god brothers at the open mics. And I would go and take pictures and later add it to social media. And from there, it was like, okay, it's these pictures, but people really don't know what's going on. So then I started adding paragraphs or what have you to it, which now we got a blog. And then I started, videotaping it over pictures. And long story short, that's how I really started tapping into media from one thing to the next: blog, radio, hosting, magazine writer, and just different areas of it. In the lanes that I typically fall into, I end up learning and getting my hands and feet wet and dirty, as they say, on all levels, so I can have a full understanding of, that whole lane. So that's really how I started in the media area.
Okay. So you started with music, though. A lot of people I have on the podcast too, kind of were into music, or they once were into music or started out with music, and that's kind of how it was for me, though. Some things kind of prevented it from going all the way through, or I guess I lost my spark. But how did the music thing, came about? Was you always a music person, always recording music?
I've always been a writer. I wouldn't say that I was necessarily focused on recording, but I had been writing since the preschool age. Really, once I learned how to talk and put it all together, I was creating poems and stuff like that. So I think when I was early on, like in the preteen age bracket, I always knew I could sing because I sang at churches and different things like that when I was younger and different stuff. But when I was a preteen, that's kind of when I started actually stepping foot in a real studio. There was a studio in my neighborhood, and he opened the doors for the young folks in the area that had some talent and things like that.
Oh, okay. Was it him opening up the studio and giving you the opportunity to come in there to make music for you to take it actually serious to go for it?
Actually, he did. Yeah, he ended up being someone that we all worked with in our latter years as adults in our music careers too. He's still around. Shout out to Day Rock. Much love to him. Chicago,
Okay, okay,
legendary
okay. You
game,
from?
legendary.
Oh, all right, all right. You from Chicago?
I am.
All right, all right. That's what's up. Chicago in the building. I dig it. I dig it. I dig it. Like I was saying about the music thing for me though, it was I guess my brother, rest in peace, man, because he was kind of like the person who got me into it, and definitely with the podcast and also with the music. But he had more accessibility, more so to get into it because I'm in a wheelchair and most places wasn't wheelchair accessible. So I guess I think it's important to have someone that supports you, that's right by your side, regardless in whatever goal or dream that you have. And like you said, the music thing, all it took for him to open up the doors for you to record. Me, it was like, this ain't really working out, so I got to try something else. Got to try something else. But I dig it though. I dig it though. You got music out right now?
I just did a song a little bit ago. It's not. I shouldn't say just. I did a song a while ago. It's called Free. It was to pretty much partner with my book. It starts with I. To basically empower you. You know, we have a lot of things in our hearts and in our minds that we want to do, but at the same time, we're kind of sometimes held bondage by things that we don't even realize is holding us bondage. Something as simple as social media that's keeping you prison to your cell phone. Okay, that's your modern day jail cell, your cell phone. You know, that keeps you a lot of times distracted from moving forward and doing things that you need to do for yourself or that you want to do. So that's what free is all about. Just really knowing that you have the power to change your situation, what's happening around you. It all starts with you, you know, tapping into your own natural ability to take you to the next level that you want to go.
Mm, I dig that. I dig it. I dig it. Hey, these cell phones nowadays is something else. I like how you said that's a distraction, definitely, especially with social media. I was just talking about that with another guest and about how social media has became more of a distraction for everyone, to say the least.
Hmm.
Though, your brand and marketer, you're in the brand and marketing field. How did you get into all of that?
Well, I think that it was kind of implanted early because when I was younger, my mother worked in sales and marketing, and back then they weren't called brand ambassadors; they were called sales reps. So
Okay.
when she would have like in stores with the radio stations and things like that, like let's say if it's Easter time, they basically want you to take the perm boxes because it was a hair care company. Take the perm boxes and decorate them on the floor like a bunny. So you know what I mean? Like just
Yeah.
it was basically teaching me then like okay, the brand has to look a certain way. And then like the table would, you know, all these different things that they given away and the marketing assets had to be a certain way. So even though I was a child not fully understanding about branding, I did understand that when you represent a company for a particular thing, everything needs to look a certain way and the same all the way around. It was indirectly placed into my mind that if we got a bunny on the right side of the table, we need another bunny on the left side of the table, balance and things like that. So that's really where it started. But as I grew into my own brands of like becoming Ready Red and the different things that was created during that time of my artistry run, I realized that I am the business, I am the brand. So it just kind of came second nature that, okay, Ready Red is my name. So now when I do this blog, it's the Red Radar. We're going to keep that double R going. When I did like the selling of the weave, we called it Diva Ready Hair. You know, we got to make sure that they always know it's either ready or red so they can tie it in together to keep that brand strong. So I didn't really go to school for any of the things that I do. I'm self-taught and hands-on experience. That's really how I learned. And really after being like in the entertainment industry and working with corporate companies such as Google and Facebook and different companies like that, you know, as a independent contractor, not as a company, when they bring you on board, they actually put you through a training and teach you certain things about their brand so that you represent it properly. So having that training from companies that are already doing certain things a certain way, that really helped me a lot too.
Okay, I can dig that. When me doing the whole, podcast, and I don't know too much about marketing, but what's some marketing tips for people such as myself that may not know as much on try to marketing their podcast or something like that, or maybe they new business or something, or just want to get into marketing.
Well, marketing is all about knowing who you're marketing to. If you know the detail about who you're marketing to, you can actually market to them and successfully convert them into a paid customer or client. It's pretty much, have you ever heard the saying about sell me this pen?
Yes.
Similar to that. It's like you need to know what the person's pain point or problem is, and if they're not telling you about their problem, you need to at least know who they are, what they like, what they're into, what their lifestyle consists of, because then you can market to them properly, whatever the thing is that you're marketing.
Okay, I can dig that. We're gonna move on, you guys, here on the podcast. Antoinette, you also talk about your you also talk about childhood trauma and abuse within family, and a lot of people definitely don't open up on that situation or definitely talk about it. And I have some guests and also listeners who actually experience situations like that. Can you speak on that and the importance of talking about it and also getting through it?
In a nutshell, we're gonna all experience things that we don't like, that we sometimes may not understand, and that don't feel good, whether it's childhood trauma or just life happenings as you become an adult. I choose to look at the brighter side of things, because overall, the things when we're going through it, it's kind of like, oh my, it's me, woe is me. But once you get through it and you look back like, whoa, it's me. I made it through that. I got through that thing. It's a learning lesson there. Myself, like I said, I've always been a writer. So me knowing that I have a gift with my words, I understand that it was imperative for me to go through the things that I went through in my life, because I had to take those experiences and write about them in a way that was going to save some other people. So, it's all about your perspective and how you look at it. Of course, when I was going through back then, I didn't really have anyone around me that was telling me how to think and how to take in what was going on. But I'm certain that if I had this mindset in the process of going through those things, it would have felt different to me while going through it. So I would say that your perception is your reality. So no matter what you're going through, no matter what's happening around you, understand that you're going through it so that you can grow through it. And if you choose to see the best of every situation, it feels better and for you, not for the other people. It really feels better for you. You take that lesson and you learn from it. When I was going through it, it didn't really seem like trauma when it was happening in the moment. I think for me, it was trauma. It became trauma when I became, quote unquote, traumatized by it, because now it's affecting me. In the moments of things happening with my family and my parents and stuff, I'm just constantly like picking up and moving and going because I gotta keep moving to survive and stuff. I didn't actually feel like trauma in that moment because I was already used to it and it was normal to me. But during my time of like waking up and just looking like, damn, this happened and I feel like this because of it. Like that was when I was like, dang, that really messed me up from when that happened. And I'm bothered by X, Y, and Z when that happened. And that was all later. Overcoming it for me was actually looking at what had transpired, writing down on paper how it affected me and what parts of those effects and things I wanted to keep, and then the parts that I wanted to get rid of. Some parts of some of my reactions and how I move, like my awareness and how I pay attention to things and how I see things. To some people, it might be like, you shouldn't feel that way, but for me, that's a part of the effects of my trauma that I want to keep. I like the fact that I'm very alert to certain things and that I pick up on things that others may not pick up on. Whereas other parts that affected you in a way that you may feel was negative, you might want to work on and change those things. So it's just really like being aware, writing those things down that bothered me, and really understanding who I am, understanding that I respond to this way because of this. Now it's not a guess, and if it's not something that you want to be a characteristic for yourself, change it.
Hey, I was just saying everything I want to say to you. I was just saying to myself is because of what you just said and the power of writing stuff down, even in good situations, though. But definitely bad situations, writing stuff down. And when you want to work on something and change stuff in your life, write it down and make it happen, though. You're an author, so obviously, you have a book though called Bonded by Birth, right?
No, Bonded by Birth is the name of my organization. It's a nonprofit.
Yes.
Yeah, it's a nonprofit.
All right. I got you. Okay. Yes. Tell everyone about that one. I got that one mixed up about it.
It's okay. We're an advocate for parents and children dealing with ruptured relationships due to the separation or disconnection from one another. It's really just being a support system. You'll find that a lot of people, we can start off with some of the people that's like locked up in jail and stuff, right? A lot of those people, if you actually look at their childhood adversities before the age of 18, you'll see that there's a reason that certain things became how they were. And there's a reason that they responded and did certain things that they did that may have landed them in jail. So Bonded by Birth is really about being a support system because we truly understand that no matter the reason that a parent and child is separated, there are effects that happen to both people. There's emotional roller coasters within both people, and we come from I understand because I've been there, not because I read it in a book and they told me that if you do this, that means that you're this. These labels that people put on us, they don't put into a fact of the experience. So if something happened that created a certain situation, and then someone puts this label on you and say, oh, you're this, and I'm just going to give you some medication, is it really fixing the problem?
No.
So
it's just masking. In my opinion, I feel like it's just masking what's really going on underneath.
ADHD as a diagnosis came to us in 1980 with the DSM-3. It was ADD. And then in 1987, they added the H. It became ADHD. And when it became ADHD, it opened up a vacuum that allowed for nearly every child to be diagnosed and prescribed medication, because previously it was just attention deficit. Once they added the word hyper, it opened up the opportunity for medication.
What I'm trying to understand is, and again, look, I'm not a doctor, whether it's psychologist, psychoanalyst, medical doctor, but a 7 or 8-year-old kid being hyper, I'm just okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that's called being a 7 or 8-year-old kid.
It's normal childhood behavior. There's a couple issues here, Roland. Number one, 97% of all public school teachers, charter, independent school teachers are female.
Yeah.
So you have to look at the female culture of the schoolhouse and how when boys cannot adjust adequately to female expectations, they are marginalized. When you look at the criteria for ADHD, losing things necessary to get your work done, not being able to pay attention, blurting out answers, having excessive energy, that's normal male child behavior. But when you come to school, you're kind of expected not to engage in traditional male types of behaviors. And if you do, you become stigmatized. And then in comes the drug companies, the manufacturers of all these popular anti-stimulant medications who pay for a lot of the teacher conferences. They're fueling the overdiagnosis. They also fund significantly the American Psychological and the American Psychiatric Association. So a lot of this is about money. It's not about treatment.
So if you're a parent out there, you're watching this and hearing this, I mean, how do you combat that when that is constantly coming at you about your child?
Education. Number one, parents need to know that in the school, we do not diagnose ADHD. ADHD is not a special education disability. Now, my doctorate is in clinical, but I'm a school psychologist. I go between both worlds. You don't diagnose ADHD in the school. So why are so many boys being put in special ed for ADHD? Because one of the special ed classifications is known as other health impairment. Because psychiatry is a branch of medicine, if you get diagnosed by the doctor with ADHD, if the parent brings the paperwork to school, they can now special educate you. And I have a big problem with that because ADHD is not a learning disability. So why are all these boys being put in special ed? Because someone outside the school said that they have ADHD. And that evaluating psychologist, 85% of the time, never observes the child in the environment where the complaints are being made. The teacher's making the complaint, but you never go to the school to observe the child to see whether or not the complaints are legitimate. So it's secondhand information that's fueling this whole.
Yep. And there's been studies that have been done that show, you know, back in the day, they used to say a lot of kids were ADHD and all that and give them this, I don't know, was it called Adderall or something back then?
Yes.
Something.
Yes.
Okay, well, there's been studies that have been done like, wait a minute, we're not putting into play these childhood adversity. So there's like a test that you take to find out your ACE score. And that would determine that if you experience certain things before the age of 18 that no, you weren't ADHD, you're naturally responding to your experience. So that's not the same thing. Just because that symptom that they talking about is ADHD has you doing X, Y, and Z, that don't deem that person ADHD. That deems that person naturally responding to a situation.
I dig that.
Yeah, I use a example of the animals. Like, you know, animals don't speak English, so they communicate how they communicate. If we were talking about like a tiger, a bear or something, and this particular animal left its babies next to this tree that's by your house, and it come back to get the babies, and the baby's not there, but you there, what is that animal gonna do to you? Probably attack you. You know what I'm saying?
Uh-huh.
And that's because the communication is, I left my babies here. My babies are not here, but you are. You did something to my baby. Are we gonna say, if we were dealing with a human that responded that way, are we gonna automatically deem that person as psycho or schizophrenic or whatever because of how they responded? Or are we gonna understand that they are responding to this way because something happened to their child? There's a separation from them and their child, so they're not in their normal state. It's a situation that came about. So that's kind of like the whole mindset of Bonded by Birth is coming from I understand and support you in that understanding, not based upon a clinical standpoint.
And why you think is that you know so many doctors are so quick to rush in, say a kid or someone has ADHD or prescribe them pill medication and stuff like that?
I mean, if they didn't prescribe you medicine, would there be a pharmaceutical industry? It's business.
This whole country is a business. That's how I look at it too.
Yep, it's all a business.
Hey, I like it. I dig it. Okay. All right. You guys, man, we chopping it up with Antoinette Logan here on the 11:30 podcast. You guys, man, yo, we're gonna take a quick commercial break, and when we come back, you guys, we got the hot seat. We're gonna put Antoinette in the hot seat. We're gonna keep chopping it up with her and everything, man. For real. Don't move. You're listening and you're watching to the 11:30 podcast. You did.
Hateful, insane nation that ever existed.
Introducing video podcasts on Spotify
Transform your storytelling into a show everyone can watch
or listen to.
Easily upload your video through Anchor, Spotify's free podcast creation tool.
So whether you're showing off a new recipe,
Interviewing an exclusive guest,
or uncovering the next mystery,
you can now reach a whole new audience with Spotify.
podcasting just became more than audio.
Create with Anchor, watch on Spotify.
Yo, we back here on the 11:30 podcast. Appreciate everyone sticking with me throughout the commercial break, you guys. Yo, I have amazing guests I've been chatting with through in the entire show. Antoinette Logan, multi-face media professional and international author, you guys. Chatting it up about her amazing brand and marketing business. And also, we're going to get into her book, you guys, that's coming up in just a bit. And we're going to get into some hot seat, you guys. The hot seat is back here on the podcast. I got Antoinette Logan here joining me here on this week's episode. Okay, earlier I had a little confusion about your book and your business mixed all the way up. I had both of them mixed up. Okay, your book, it starts with I. Can you tell everyone about the book and where they can catch it? And
Well, the book, it starts with I. Here it is. It is all about you, actually. The I for you. It's very important that we focus on self-love, mindset, business, wealth, money, and growth within ourselves, because those are the main areas of life that we constantly need to pay attention to and elevate as we grow. So yes, it starts with that affirmations book. I went on a 2-year tour with that book. It was amazing. I was able to connect with some amazing people, learn from, grow with, cry with, hug on, and just empower and inspire the next. Because a lot of times, we see the result of something, but you don't always know the story and the journey that came with it. And sometimes people need to know that I've been where you at, and you can get through that too, So yes, it's an amazing journey. You can get that book in my linktree.com/Ask Miss Logan. It's actually bundled with my new It Starts With I book for teach you how to live an intentional lifestyle. That's a pre-sale for that, so you can get 2 for the price of 1.
Okay, cool. I like some affirmation to keep me going and stuff like that. You gotta have that. With some affirmations that you kind of like tell yourself on a daily basis that keep yourself motivated.
Everything I do is done with love. If it cannot be done with love, it is not for me and does not deserve my time, attention, or energy.
I like that because you know what? I ran into something, not too long ago, and someone asked the question, is love enough? And I asked you that because, you said do everything with love, and is love enough?
I don't know if the answer applies to every single thing, but I think that there needs to be some love in it. I don't know if it needs to be only love, but you definitely need to love it, because when we do things without any love in it, like, how can I say this? A person could love baking cakes and then they start a bakery. And, in the midst of having a they might have got a big order and they on their feet for 12, 13, 14, 15 hours. The love of making those cakes is what's getting you through being on your feet that long. It's what's getting you through the back pain. It's what's getting you through the irritation because Bobby can't get to the store to go get you no more cake flour. And if you leave, you're going to be thrown off your time. You get what I'm saying? So I'm not saying that it's enough because we don't know what the rest of the sentence is. There's not enough variables in that statement to answer, is it enough? But you definitely need to have love in it for sure.
Okay. I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying though. Because because I ran into someone and they was like, them doing what they doing. Yeah, they love it though, but it's what the money is what kind of like keep them going. So I'm just like, is love enough to do what you just, to go out and accomplish something? I don't know if I'm actually wording it the right way because a lot of people don't have enough love into whatever they're trying to do. It's just sometimes it could just be about the dollar or more so the money.
Well, it depends because I think if it's always about the money, then that will show too. Because what happens in the event that it's not enough money? Are you going to continue to do what you do or are you going to switch up? Because I've done a lot of different things in my journey of, being an entrepreneur and just a creative, figuring out what I like and don't like. And because when I was doing certain things for money, once that money wasn't enough, you see, I ain't doing it no more.
Okay. I get you. Okay. All right. We're gonna move on, you guys, to the inspirational quote of the week, you guys. Yes, inspirational quote of the week. I am good enough. Yes, I am. By obviously First Lady, former First Lady of the United States, Michelle Obama. And you got a book out. It starts with affirmations and telling yourself that you're good and yes, I look good, or whatever the case may be. And I feel as though with a lot of stuff that we deal with and a lot of hate and negativity that's going in the world, um, I think it's needed, for not just us telling someone else, but also telling yourself, because a lot of people, some people, get down and depressed on themselves and just don't want to, just don't feel like they can do it or they can go for it because of not believing in themselves or something like that.
I definitely say to people to be for you what you need first. If you need your friends to get up and congratulate you when you do something at your job or you accomplish something, you need to be up, jumping and clapping for yourself before they do. Be for you what you need first, and you will never feel like you're missing out.
You're right. I dig that. What inspires you?
Me. Don't get me. Don't let me rephrase that because I've learned
because I was actually that was a good. I was actually about to say that was a good answer.
Well, it's the case. So when we become parents and stuff like that, most people gonna say, "Oh, my kids inspire me" and things like that. But truth be told, my entire life I had to depend on Antoinette. When I was a baby, I wasn't with my mother and father to depend on my mother and father. I was with the people I was with. So I am my motivation. It's me. If I don't do it, who gonna do it? I gotta do it for myself. So it's me.
I dig that. Some people, you know what? I won't even sort of like go there because like some people will say that's more so selfish, but a lot of people don't think like everybody else. But I like the way you think in a way because that's the generic.
But who were you before you became a parent? You were somebody before that.
Yes.
That we think about how we connect with people with who they are now, but we need to deal with people with who they are first, because right now, before a person is your significant other or your sister or your brother or your mama or your auntie or whatever, if you go all the way back to who they are first, they are an individual before they are any of those labels and titles that you put on them. You know what I mean? Like when you come here day one, if you come here and you're not the first child to your parents, you automatically a little sister or a little brother, a cousin, an auntie, you all these things before from day one when you come here. So when do we focus on who they are first before the titles of things? You know, they're individual. It's you.
I like that. We definitely got to have a conversation about that on another episode. For real. Maybe we could talk about that on a whole entirely episode. For real. You guys, we're gonna move on here on the podcast, you guys, man. It's time for the 11:30 podcast. All right. It's time. Okay, you guys, it's time for the hot seat. Antoinette, you ready? I got 6 questions for you, and we're gonna roll with it. Okay, all right. If you change one thing about yourself, or if you had the opportunity, what would it be?
Decisions I made when I was young.
Okay, decisions when you were young.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's well, I mean, for me too. I can say that. Certain decisions though, we all make crazy decisions when we were young. Okay, it's Thanksgiving. What all is going on your plate?
Everything. No pork on my fork.
Except pork.
Yep.
Okay. Cool. You like Thanksgiving? Big Thanksgiving person?
It is. I cook Thanksgiving meals throughout the week all the time. I cook just not every day. So
all right.
That, I'm not a holiday person.
Gotcha. Okay, cool. How did you become confident?
How did I become confident? I don't know. I just always knew I was it, honey. Because I am. I'm a leader.
Hey,
you
cool.
know what I'm saying? So, I mean, I don't know. I just already knew that I'm it. I got that it factor. I don't care what I do, what I touch. I got the Midas touch. And most people that know me will tell you the same thing. Every time I do something, it hit. It's golden. First time trying it. So, okay. I don't know where it came from. I just got it.
I like it. Okay. If you were elected as a mayor or governor, what would be your first move?
Change the system that I can change.
Okay. Anything particular you would like to change?
To be honest with you, I don't know what their roles are and what they actually can change or not change. So I can't answer that question because I don't know exactly what they can and can't do. I'm not a political person. I ain't into that. So I don't know what they can and can't do, but I would know that I would want to make some changes in the way systems are running because they're not for the people.
All right. Does the Christmas tree go up before or after Thanksgiving?
I don't know if it depends on the people that's putting up a tree. I'm not a holiday person, so I don't care about none of that.
Okay, all right. Okay, all right. Where you see yourself at in 1 year?
Somewhere warm, tropical with the water.
Somewhere taking a vacation or something?
I mean, I could be working. I work from my computer and my cell phone, so I could be relaxed and having a good time and work simultaneously. So it don't necessarily have to be vacation, you know. I could just be there and enjoying it on a work day.
All right. I dig it. I definitely dig it. What you do just on a spare time, just for
fun? Traveling and being poolside, luxury relaxation.
Gotcha. Okay. Cool. Well, look here. I appreciate you coming through here on the 11:30 podcast. For real, I appreciate it a lot. Before you go to any questions, any shout outs, anything you'd like to say?
I just thank you for having me. People can connect with me on social media at Ask Miss Logan on all platforms, or linktree.com/Ask Miss Logan. That's ASKMSLOGAN. And I thank you for having me. I really do. It's been a great show.
Thank you. No problem. You got any new projects, anything new coming out you want to let everybody know about?
Absolutely. We're always working on something. The Iconic Speakers Network is a program that'll be launching soon. We actually have a free Facebook group, which is the Iconic Speakers Directory, as that's how you can find it. But we're going to be teaching you how to globally expand your brand with the PPP strategies.
Okay, I can dig it. Look at it.
And if you want to know what PPP means, you got to come check me out to find out, because it don't mean the PPP loan, but it's something you need to know about.
Yes. All the links will be down below, you guys, so you can get at Antoinette Logan. You can ask her all the dope questions and everything. Once again, I appreciate you taking the time out your day to come through here on the 1130 podcast. Stay safe, stay blessed, and continue to do everything you're doing and inspiring others, and keep knocking out of the park, and actually just keep, inspiring yourself. Keep, being you. I dig it.
Thank you.
No
It's
problem.
been great.
Thank you. For real, big shout out to Antoinette Logan for coming through here on the podcast. But before we wrap it up, you guys, it's time for the WTF moment of the week, you guys. Yes, everybody is big mad, especially coming out of the sports world, you guys, especially college sports. Deion Sanders, NFL Hall of Famer, who played for the Dallas Cowboys, man, and won big rings in the NFL, and he was a coach at Jackson State, Mississippi, I believe, and him coming to a HBCU and telling everyone, yo, man, he's going to be different, he's going to stick around, he's not going to leave for the money. And man, come on, you guys. I don't, dive in too much of the college sports, drama, or just, too much of it. But, Deion Sanders is Deion Sanders, and obviously he was there to maybe, do what he do at Jackson State, Mississippi, to try to get his son a quarterback spot. And I'm hearing that was the case or so. But yeah, man, like, he left Colorado to be a head coach. Well, no, he left Jackson State, Mississippi, and now he's a head coach at Colorado. WTF. A lot of people are big mad.
You know what? $5 million per year. Coach Prime led FCS school Jackson State to its first undefeated regular season in school history this year, and back-to-back SWAC championships. Here's Deion now addressing his team about his decision to go to Colorado.
I know y'all been hearing the rumors and everything that's been transpiring around about my whereabouts and what I'm going to do. And I like for y'all to hear it from me and not from anyone else. It is what it is. Either in coaching, you get elevated or you get terminated. Ain't no other way. You either elevated or terminated. And it ain't no graveyard for coaches where they die at the place. It don't work like that. They either gonna run you off or you gonna walk off upon your own recognizance. I've chosen to accept the job elsewhere next year. I'm gonna finish what we started. We're gonna dominate. I'm gonna be here until that end and that conclusion. And then when that conclusion, we will move on.
WTF all the way. WTF all the way. Man, what a show. Appreciate Antoinette Logan for coming through here on the 1130 podcast this week. Dope vibe, man. For real, all the links will be down below. Definitely get at her. But man, before I get on out of here and we wrap this show up, you guys know what time it is. Don't forget to follow the 1130 podcast on all social media platforms. Follow me on Twitter at the 1130 podcast. Like the 1130 podcast on Facebook. And if you haven't done so this entire episode, make sure you hit that subscribe button down below, you guys. Yes, here on YouTube, and if you're listening on Spotify, make sure you follow and leave a 5-star rating. And also follow the 1130 podcast on TikTok and on Instagram at the 1130 podcast _. I hope everyone enjoying their week, this week and enjoying the holidays. It's December. It's cold out there, man. If you want to get you a hoodie, get you some merch, man, the links will be down below, man. Definitely support the 1130 podcast the long way. And also, I thank everyone for showing up and showing out for the season premiere of Beyond 1130, where I had Rosie Mama Life, aka Mama Life. I always call her Mama Life. My guy Kofi Weedston, Dr. Shopaloo, Tanya from Notorious Moms, the podcast. Man, just had a bunch of people on the show. It was great. I thank everyone for coming out and tuning in. The next episode will be dropping next Thursday, you guys. Next Thursday, episode 2, relationships, all things relationship. We're gonna have the crew, the mob on from Friends with Billy, all things relationship, you guys. Man, it's going down. You don't want to miss that. Episode 2 of Beyond 1130. Make sure you tap in, man. Man, I'm about to hit on out of here. That's enough for this week, you guys. Definitely tune in for Talk Pro Wrestling this Friday. It's going to be a great one, man. I was off last week for pro wrestling, and I'm back talking my shit with some pro wrestling this week. But for now, you guys, man, yo, it's your man Dre, aka Dre on Wheels, and my dope guest, Antoinette Logan. I'm out.